Hey Clan, Scottish182 here, and welcome to another WION review. And this WION review, I'm going to be reviewing The Dark Knight Rises, the final movie in the Christopher Nolan trilogy of Batman movies. I'm going to be giving my honest opinion and simply answer the question, is it worth it or not to go and see this in the picture? I bought this just in case because I do have a couple of bad points about the movies that I'm going to question, and after what happened on Rotten Tomato, yeah, I'm not taking any chances. I've got my fencing blade, I've got my katana. So Nolan fanboys, bring it on. This is the most secure room in the house at the moment, so that's why you don't have the warrior wall behind me. But let's get this review started and let's get it going. So, firstly, I'm going to tell you what I liked about the film, but let's talk a wee bit about the hype. Firstly, if you haven't seen them, I have reviewed all of the Batman movies, from Batman to Batman and Robin. I'll leave a link to the WION playlist where you can check out all of my reviews, and you can watch them if you haven't seen them already and want my opinion on all the other movies. I reviewed them in order of director. I started with Tim Burton, then I done Schumacher, and then I done Nolan, to finally end this week I'm going to be doing the final Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises. I'm going to be giving my honest opinion. So, the hype. This movie has been hyped for God knows how long. Ever since the ending of The Dark Knight, this movie has been hyped beyond belief, and it's no question that it was either going to live up to the hype or it was going to fail miserably. There was very little middle ground, and the advertising has been big. A lot of stuff has been leaked over the months. I avoided them like the plague, so I went in completely spoiler free. I knew nothing about the movie, any plots, any actors that were in it. All I knew was I wanted to see it, and I did, and the hype has been released. Let me just give you what I thought of from the news that was coming out. Firstly, Anne Hathaway, I was very iffy on her as Catwoman, Selina Kyle, because they actually don't call her Catwoman in this entire movie once, and Nolan actually didn't want her in the film. Apparently it was actually his brother that brought her into the movie, which made a lot of sense in my opinion. So, that was we had Bane, of course, that you could barely understand him in the trailer, and also the leaked footage, which I didn't check out. I just heard the thing, but I will happily say Bane you can understand quite clearly, except for a couple of lines which I have no idea what he fucking said. I was like, what the fuck did you say, man? But I digress. That'll be in my cons part. A lot of returning cast members, very nice, and of course with the hint of Robin being in this movie. I will get to that later on and answer the question, is Robin in this film or not, for those who know why. This will be a spoiler-free review up until a point. One of the complaints I have for this movie is a spoiler for the movie, so I'm afraid I will let you know when I'm going to say it, so that you can, if you don't want any spoilers, if you're going to go see it, you can click off this video, but otherwise this will be a completely spoiler-free review. So, sit back and stick around. Let's get this started. Let me tell you what I liked about the film first. So, firstly, Christian Bale, as always, as I say, I have my own problems with Christian Bale as Batman, but I think he's done a great job. He's definitely grown into the role of Batman over the 3 films. Of course, the problem there is still he has the Batman voice. That voice that he thinks makes him sound like a fucking badass. Which is probably like he has throat cancer. I know the joke's been done to death, but I just have to. And yeah, he's nothing really changes. It's still Batman, so he's still the same Batman. He has evolved a wee bit, so not much has changed about him. He's still relatively samey. Which I liked, but at the same time it's getting a bit dull. But it's Batman, it's Christian Bale. He done a good job. He done his job right. So yeah, I can't complain about Christian Bale. Bane, the villain, not the main villain, that's a bit of a spoiler, but yeah, the villain basically. I think this is the best rendition of Bane I've seen in a live action movie compared to what he was like in that other Batman movie, which shall remain nameless. I think this Bane was fantastic. I enjoyed him. The problem I said as his voice, you can't understand him at certain points, which is a bit of a problem. But overall, you can understand him for the majority of the film. He did get on. The voice got really annoying really fast, though, I will happily admit. But he doesn't have he has enough lines to make him seem intimidating, and he isn't just intelligent. He's tough. He isn't just a brute, though. He is intelligent as hell, which is what Bane is. He's intelligent, and he pulled off that role spectacularly. I'm horrible with actors' names, but the actor that done Bane done a fantastic job, in my opinion. Bane was really well done, in my opinion. And I really want to talk about a particular scene, but it's a spoiler, so I'm not going to talk about it. I may do a whole spoiler video later on, but at the moment I just want to talk about the movie in general. So Bane, I think, done a really good job. I think really, although the problem is, I still prefer the Joker over Bane. I still prefer Heath Ledger over the new actor who did Bane. I'm not going to go into the whole thing, like but they couldn't recast Joker. Fair enough. And by the way, they never once referenced the Joker in this film, for anyone that's wondering, so we don't know if in the Nolan verse if the Joker is alive or dead. I'm not sure, it's never mentioned. I'm assuming he's probably in an insane asylum somewhere, but I don't know. We don't actually get any clarification on that, which is understandable. We also, well, what I also liked was how, I also liked, what's his name? I also liked Blake, who is the detective that helps with Batman. I also liked him. I think he done a good job. I honestly cannot remember his name. I know he has Levitt in his name somewhere, but I will admit he actually done a really good job. But I actually didn't like him overall. I'll get to why in the cons, because it is a bit of a spoiler for the end of the movie, so I'm not going to talk about it until I get to the spoiler point, which I will let you know is. But yeah, Bane, fantastic. Blake, I liked. Catwoman, sorry, Selina Kyle. They actually don't call her Catwoman at all in this movie. She's always known as Selina Kyle. And I didn't like her, but I didn't hate her at the same time. Anne Hathaway done a decent job, and she isn't. I don't think anyone has perfected the role of Catwoman just yet. And I don't think it will happen anytime soon, because even though Anne Hathaway, I'll have to admit, Anne Hathaway's Catwoman was a bit sceptical for me, but in my opinion, she done a good job. She did what she was meant to do, in my opinion, and I liked her for that. She done really good, and I really enjoyed her in this movie, but at the same time, I didn't like her for other parts and reasons, which I am going to state here. She really doesn't have the personality of Catwoman. She has it in snippets, but she doesn't get it perfect. I don't know, there's something about it, just the way she talked, the way she done things. It didn't really suit Catwoman, and as I say, just Selina Kyle. They never refer to her as Catwoman, they only say Cat Burglar. So I cannot say that word. Burglar. Whatever. And I think she done a good role. She done a decent role. She wasn't horrible, she was decent. And I enjoyed her, but at the same time I didn't enjoy her. If I'm going to be honest, they could have left her at the film and it wouldn't have made any difference in some cases, but the plot convenience, blah blah blah, Nolan didn't want her in it. Just fuck off, I don't care. Now, I'm trying to think what else I liked. I liked the action. The action was quite spectacular. I saw it in regular cinema, and it's quite big, the regular cinema I go to, but it's very well done. Absolutely fantastic cinematography, absolutely fantastic action scenes. Nothing short of The Dark Knight, basically. There was also a dead grittiness to the film. Like, it was dead, much more down to earth, much more realistic. Although there is, I'm trying to think of anything else I liked about the film. I liked a lot of the scenes with Bane and Batman interacting, which is mostly fight scenes, which is, they're bloody brilliant. And actually Bane, I can't talk about it as a spoiler, so I'm going to skip that, but they do have some pretty good fight scenes with Bane and Batman who are pretty awesome. And the action scenes, as I say, are fantastic. They're very well done, very Nolan. They're in there for the right amount of reasons, and then they're not in there. They're needed when they're needed, basically, which is great. I'm trying to think of what else. This was definitely the final Nolan Batman film. I'll say that right now. And I'm going to have to get into the cons now of what I didn't like about the film. I'm going to avoid the spoiler one until the end, so don't worry about that. The cons that I'm going to be talking about are in general. And let's begin. The cons kind of take away a wee bit from the film, in my opinion. The only people that are going to be surprised by the twists in this movie are people who absolutely know nothing about Batman. If you know nothing about Batman, you're going to enjoy this film for the twists, but even if you have a vague knowledge of Batman, the movie's predictable as hell. I'm sorry, Nolan kind of screwed up on them. All the Batman films are kind of predictable to an extent, but this one was a bit too predictable for my taste. Like, I saw the twists coming a mile away because I'm very familiar with the Batman character. I've watched the animated series, I've played the games, I've read a couple of the comics, I've watched almost every animated series that's ever come out, and as I said, I've watched all the Batman films, so I'm very familiar with the Batman character and the Batman mythos. And for me, you could see the twists coming a mile away, even if you have a vague memory of Batman. Even some vague knowledge with Ra's al Ghul, even if you have a bit of knowledge about the League of Shadows and Ra's al Ghul, you're going to see the twists coming a mile away. There's some one or two are surprised, but most of them you're going to see coming a mile away, which I didn't mind that, honest, but it's a bit of a con because I wasn't surprised. If I'm going to be honest, I wasn't surprised because all of the twists were obvious and could be seen coming, in my opinion. At least I saw them coming. I don't know if anyone else saw them coming. My mum's partner who I went to see the picture with says the same. He said he saw the twists coming, but he enjoyed the film. It's definitely a good film. A couple of things I didn't like was, I'm trying to avoid the spoiler one because I really don't want to spoil the movie for anyone, but a couple of problems I had with the film was, in some cases, I don't know, I really can't, I'm trying to think of answers. There wasn't that many things I didn't like about the film, but there were some ones that did stick out like a sore thumb. And one of the major ones for me, I'm not going to get into spoilers with this, but after this one I'm going to get into spoilers. So this, I'll let you know when I'm going to talk about it. But this film, to me, doesn't feel like a Nolan film, if I'm going to be honest. It feels like a Nolan film, but at the same time it doesn't. Like, Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, you can tell they're Nolan films, definitely. You can tell that his style is there. And this one, however, The Dark Knight Rises, his presence is there, and it definitely has the traditional Nolan style. For his Batman movies, at least. It does have the same theme with the Batman films that Nolan has done. However, you can tell the weakest parts of this film are parts that you can tell that Nolan himself would not have either wanted in this film or was studio mandated to put this in the film. Because, like Catwoman, I'm going to have to say, she didn't feel like she belonged there. She didn't have that Nolan flair to her. Like, Bane had the Nolan flair to him, Catwoman didn't. She was just there, in my opinion. And if she had the Nolan twist on her, you'd see it. But you can tell that Nolan didn't want Catwoman in the film, for my honest opinion. You can also tell a couple of other wee bits and bobs. Like, some of the stuff definitely felt studio mandated, if I'm going to be honest. As I say, it's Catwoman and a couple of other wee bits and bobs, including the spoiler, which I'm going to get into fairly shortly, but not just yet. But, I don't know, like, if I'm going to have to be perfectly honest, I prefer The Dark Knight over The Dark Knight Rises. I think The Dark Knight is the superior film compared to The Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight Rises did kind of suffer slightly from third sequel disease. Not majorly, please don't fucking, in fact, you know what, bring it on, try and kill me. In fact, no, don't. But, yeah, it definitely suffered a little bit from it. It didn't suffer from majorly, it didn't suffer the Spider-Man 3 treatment, it suffered a little bit from third sequel disease. And a lot of that is mainly the weaker parts of the film that take away a wee bit from me. Now, I'm going to get into the spoiler that I hated. One part of the film which I absolutely hated because I'm a Batman fan. But, I'm going to answer the simple question first. Is it worth your money? Sorry, I got hair in my mouth. There. Is The Dark Knight Rises worth it or not to go to the pictures and see it? And I'm going to fly out and say this. No shit in you guys. No shit in the clan. Yes. If you're even a moderate Batman fan and you're a fan of the Nolan Batman films, you owe it to yourself to go and see this film. It is definitely worth the price of admission of a cinema ticket. Definitely go and see it. Don't pirate it. Don't fucking do anything to it. go to it, sit down, sit your ass down, get your fucking popcorn, grab it, get your fucking big 2 litre gallon of juice, and you watch that film from start to finish, and you better have some goddamn good bladder control, because trust me, you will not want to leave that seat. Your ass will be glued to that seat, because it is that good of a film in my opinion. Definitely worth the price of admission. So that's what I'm going to say right now. I'm going to be talking about the spoiler that I didn't like, which really pissed me off. So you may want to click off this video now if you're going to see the film today or tomorrow or soon, because this is a big spoiler in my a big-ish spoiler. So I'll wait a few seconds. Click off, come on. If you don't want to see it, fuck off. If you don't want, I'm going to talk about the spoiler. So the X button is up there somewhere. I'll help you out. It's right up there, I think. It's right up there. Point, click off the video. I'll even give you a hand. Press Alt and left. You'll go back. Okay, if you're still here, here's the spoiler that pissed me off. Throughout the film, it's hinted that the character Blake, Detective Blake, is going to become Robin. Yes, Robin is technically in this film, but he never does get into the outfit. It's at the end of the movie that he goes into the Batcave after the events of the ending, which I'm not going to spoil. He goes into the Batcave, and that's the end of the film, by the way. He goes in the Batcave, a platform raises, that's the end of the film. And what really pissed me off was the fact that Nolan basically disregarded the Robin mythos, basically. To my knowledge, there is no character called Blake that was ever known as Robin. And it feels like that character was thrown in just to have that bit at the end, for me personally. And of course, by the way, guess what Detective Blake's first name is? You'll never guess it. It's Robin. Literally speaking, his first name is Robin. How do you... That is borderline lazy. I'm sorry. That is the laziest piece of shit that you can do. I'm sorry. That really pissed me off. How the fuck could you be that lazy? I'm sorry, that really did piss me off. And that is a major mark against the film in my opinion, because fair enough, it's the Nolan verse and everything is a little different in the Nolan verse, but I'm sorry, that bit really annoyed me and really took away a wee bit from the film in my opinion, because if you were going to have Robin in this, even as a brief, like at the end, it should have been Dick Grayson. I'm sorry, Nolan, you fucked up on that part. I'm sorry. Love your face, but you fucked up on that part. I'm sorry. So that is a major thing I didn't like about the film, was the fact that they basically just tossed a character in there to be Robin, and they didn't even get the right character. But overall, it didn't take away from the film much from me, but it did really piss me off, and I really hated that. And Nolan, shame on you for doing that. So I think that's all I've got to say on the matter. It really pissed me off. I fucking hated that. It really annoyed me, and it really took a wee bit away from the film in my opinion. And as I say, the film was also very fucking predictable as well, so it did take that, added to the fact that it took away a wee bit from me. But as I say, still a good film, definitely worth the price of admission. Don't pirate it, don't do anything, sit your ass down in that movie theatre seat and enjoy the movie. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and now if you'll excuse me, but no, I'll say one more thing. This is my opinion. If you don't like it, here's what I want to say to you. Fuck off, okay? My opinion, don't like it, fuck off. Overall, definitely highly recommend The Dark Knight Rises, and hopefully you enjoyed this review. Let me know what your thoughts on the movie are in the comment section down below. And as always, I'm Scottish Warrior 92, and I'll see you all later. Ciao for now.